Hello everyone and welcome back to the Blue Who Review. Now you might have heard recently, every single episode of Doctor Who will be going up on the 1st of November on BBC iPlayer to celebrate its 60th year. But you also might have heard the controversy that's going on around An Unearthly Child and that it might not be uploaded and has been taken down from several places. But the question is, what on An Unearthly Child is going on? An Unearthly Child is the first serial in the show's history which would have established the Doctor's character, his granddaughter Susan, the TARDIS sequence and theme, TARDIS and others. Anthony Colburn helped write the scripts for this serial, being called The Tribe of Gum, an earlier name for the Unearthly Child serial, as well as The Masters of Luxor, an unproduced serial which would have been instead of The Daleks. Another serial he helped to write was The Giants, which would have been the first ever if it wasn't rejected for being too ambitious. The idea was later reworked as The Planet of Giants. Although he helped to write the scripts, there is a lot of debate as to how much or how little he actually contributed, especially to the TARDIS. And with the first serial being produced over 60 years ago, it is not crystal clear who was involved in what in every aspect of the beginning of the show. But with Anthony Colburn having died in 1977 from a heart attack, it is of course not actually him who has stopped An Unearthly Child going on iPlayer, rather his son, Steph Anthony Colburn. Having gone through his page to find his tweets, it doesn't take long to see what sort of man he is, or what brain rot, putting it mildly, he retweets either. He released a tweet on the 7th of October saying how they offered him a pittance, in his words, to relicense them. This pittance was £20,000, which is a significant amount of money, especially as he has said himself he is next to penniless and is the maximum that can be offered. He at one stage compares the money offered to what Gary Lineker is paid, so it is no wonder his ridiculously high expectations for money have not been met. If everyone was paid that much for rights for Doctor Who, then the BBC would be broke within the day. Of course, fans have been very upset and annoyed at the fact he's trying to and has now stopped the Tribe of Gum being shown. It is in a tweet where he admits this, and he is not doing it for the money, rather to right past wrongs. He claims the BBC killed his father, but how could you possibly right that wrong if it was true, and how could you prove it? Also, if he isn't doing it for money, why has he tried to get more? Even more confusingly, he has admitted he does not care if fans have a copy of the Tribe of Gum, actively trying to get fans to get the episode out there in any way they can. If he can't fix his dad's death, doesn't want the money, and wants fans to be able to see it in any way they can by sharing it among ourselves, then what is he trying to achieve? He says he's trying to stick it to the BBC, but this will nonetheless affect fans greatly, although as can be seen there has been a surge in demand for the beginning box set with An Unearthly Child serial, so it looks like the BBC are gaining from this, and will do more so now it's been confirmed not to be on iPlayer, backfiring on him. The word TARDIS is also trending on Twitter too. He also refers to the show as a children's show, which is of course wrong and shows how very little he knows about his so-called dad's creation, which it is not. Ian Levine, known notoriously in the Doctor Who community, has pointed out some rather good points about Steph and how much involvement Anthony Colburn had. First off, in a tweet Steph replied to in April, was brought to light by Ian, where he says his father's ashes will be oscillating at light speed in his urn at what generations of progressively more corrupt BBC filth have done to his dad's creation, as he puts it, which of course speaks for itself and shows exactly what he is like. Interestingly, he puts his creation as in his father's, as if he was the one who invented it, if he even did contribute to anything other than writing a few scripts that were either scrapped or reworked. In terms of his contribution, Ian Levine also saves the day once again, telling us Verity Lambert, the producer at the time, referred to him as talentless and refused to use him ever again. Also stating C.E. Webber, instrumental in shaping the core structure of the programme, wrote most of the first episode, and Maurice Hussein, director, rewrote the other three and has the notes to prove it. It has also been said the caveman dialogue written by Anthony Colburn was mostly rewritten too. Steph claims Ian knows nothing whatsoever, and Ian calls him a liar. Ian Levine also spoke to Maurice Hussein, who apparently knew nothing about this and is up in arms about it, admitting Verity Lambert invented the word TARDIS. Also, this would suggest to me he doesn't have a leg to stand on, but there must be something, as it is not going on BBC iPlayer anymore. Luckily, as he puts it, no one has ever done this before, which is why we should get it in writing the evidence that Verity Lambert did create the word TARDIS from Morris, and that any other contributions from Morris and her should be put down in writing too. Interestingly though, I came across this news article a few years ago and coincidentally a couple of weeks before this issue again, where a man was challenging the BBC over a breach of copyright, in which it turns out it was Steph again, not long before the 50th anniversary, and now close to the 60th he's done it again. He did of course lose it, so it's most likely any other disputes over the TARDIS itself will once again go in the BBC's favour. A few months ago he also claimed he is intending to crucify the BBC for 46 years of back rent on the TARDIS IP. It seems he's trying to go after anything he can. First the TARDIS, now the Tribe of Gum. Speaking of news articles, this was also released the other day about Anthony Colborne in a positive light, explaining how there could be a possible TARDIS memorial in Kent for him. I read this just a few hours before I heard the news, so it's possible this was the BBC trying to give Anthony Colborne some recognition in the hope Steph allowed them to release the episode if they did. TV Zone have also tried to get in contact with the BBC for a response, but they have not responded. Steph has said they will not be adding the Tribe of Gum on iPlayer, and now the BBC and Radio Times have confirmed it too, which it still could not be set in stone as things might change. But in saying that, it has already been removed from several places including YouTube. As Ian Levine puts it, luckily no one has ever tried to do this, and let's hope never does it again. Now it has gone in Steph's favour, it would seem it could not just be the Tribe of Gum removed, but say the 60th had a shot from the first serial, that would mean it would have to be cut from the special, but then how much would it affect it? Steph has said in his own words, he will never give the rights to distribute Anthony's episode ever again, as the matter stands, and the copyright will be given to an enemy of the BBC. What a way to tarnish your father's memory, and any association with him and the show. Now, taking all that into account, I don't really feel like this man has a leg to stand on. I mean, I'm no expert or anything, but from the sounds of it, it does sound like his dad wasn't really involved in much either, and I'm so glad it's been confirmed that the word TARDIS was actually invented by Verity Lambert, and I think we need to get that in writing so nothing like this ever happens again. Now, hopefully, nothing's going to happen to the TARDIS or the word or anything like that. Worst case scenario, hopefully, it will just be the episode in Unearthly Child which won't be able to go up, which I feel like will be a great shame, because for people who have never seen the first episode before, it'll be a great shame for them not to see it in its 60th year. I mean, it was great hearing that every single episode of Doctor Who will be going up, except of course the lost ones, but to hear that now actually the first episode won't be going up, it does sort of like ruin it, and I'm sure Russell T Davies and everyone is going to be quite upset at that. But for me personally, it would be a bit upset. I would like to watch it again, but saying that, I already have the DVD, so I don't really have much to worry about. I've got the box set here, and I've got the DVD here somewhere as well. So there's not much to worry about for me. I mean, if this does end up not being allowed to go on, then I'm going to keep hold of this. I mean, I look after all my Doctor Who stuff, but this is going to go in a special place, so I'm going to make sure to never lose it. So I've got it anyway, but for other people who haven't got access to it, it is a great shame. Now it's been confirmed to not be going up. I really think he hasn't got a leg to stand on, but obviously the fact that the BBC are not putting it up shows otherwise. Now all we can do is hope it doesn't go any further, and he can do absolutely nothing with the word or the TARDIS itself, as was what happened 10 years ago. Things can still change with An Unearthly Child, but for now it would seem An Unearthly Child will not be going on iPlayer. Also, in a way it is quite funny, because come 2020 everyone was panic buying toilet paper. Now come 2023 everyone's panic buying An Unearthly Child, which isn't unreasonable. I'm sort of thinking myself, should I buy An Unearthly Child copy, an extra one? But I can see why people are doing it, but I just thought it was a funny comparison. But what do you think about this? Let me know in the comments below. Anyway, thank you for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed, and hopefully see you in my next video soon. Thank you everyone, take care.